Hello, my name is Jordan Thomas. This is Unmasked Athletes and who I'm talking to today.
What's going on, everybody? My name is J.R. Hayes. I'm a redshirt sophomore running back at Western Michigan University.
All right, tell me a little bit about your background and where you're from.
Yeah, man. I was born originally in Boston, Massachusetts. Was raised in a town in northern Kentucky called Florence. So Kentucky native. Lived in Kentucky my whole life, pretty much. Went to Larry A. Ryle High School up here in Union, Kentucky. Committed to Western Michigan at a high school, going into college, and I've been there for the last 2 years, going on year three. So
That's awesome. Kind of tell me when you first started playing football. Tell me about that journey.
yeah, that's funny you asked. I actually was majority a basketball player growing up. I didn't start playing football until about fourth or fifth grade. Um, really had dreams and aspirations of going to the NBA. My dad owned his own AAU basketball program here in Northern Kentucky. That was pretty popular. So really had dreams and aspirations of becoming an NBA player growing up. Um, you know, once about eighth grade hit, I was 5'9", not growing anymore, and it was real the realization of you're not really going to become a point guard or a Division I basketball player at 5'9". So going into high school is really when I started taking playing football seriously. I started playing high school as an eighth grader. Kentucky, you're allowed to do that. So yeah, I actually started playing high school ball in about eighth grade. And really eighth grade on was when I really thought that I could go somewhere with this football stuff. So yeah, basketball player first growing up, but football has always been in there. And now, what I'm saying, the Lord has blessed me to play college football. So
That's awesome. Throughout that journey, what was that moment where it was like, okay, I kind of want to continue to have that love for the game?
yeah, perfect. So I would say just having a really football based family. My godfather, I call him my uncle. His Sean Alexander. So that's a legendary NFL MVP caliber name, and just him growing up in the same area as me. I'm going to one of the same schools in the county. Just had a really big influence. One of my older cousins, Derek Barnes, he plays for the Detroit Lions. And just me and my cousins really like we're all just very big football guys. Like my cousin Austin, he plays with me at Western Michigan. We live together, and I have another cousin at Southeast Missouri State, another cousin at University of Toledo. So really, just a big, very big football family and very big football community where I'm from. And I think growing up, whether it was basketball, football, we all really just pushed each other and motivated each other to be the best version of ourselves. And it's kind of cool to see that we all are Division I athletes. So I think really just having that football competitive background is really what just kept me going. So
That's awesome. It was a little competition in the house, huh? At the
yeah,
time.
most definitely between my brother and all my cousins, yeah, we're a big athletic family. So
Yeah, kind of take me through high school. How was that journey for you?
yeah. So I don't have the typical the high school experience like most people do. So for starters, I actually went to four different high schools in 4 years, which is yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me. Just between some family dynamics and stuff and COVID, I bounced around. Um, Ended up living with my aunt, my uncle, my junior, senior year of high school, just because we felt like as a family that was the best fit for me. Um, I really just claimed Larry A though. Larry A. Ryle is where I graduated, and that'll forever be my home. And I actually really only played one true year of high school football because other than my eighth grade year, freshman year was COVID year. Sophomore year tore my labrum. So yeah, I was done. Junior year, I actually had plantar fasciitis in my foot. Had a little heel contusion that pretty much sidelined me for a good portion of the season. So my senior year was really like the first true year where it was like take the keys, take the steering wheel, and just let it loose. And luckily, I had a good enough senior year to where I was able to come here. I was all city, all district, academic, all state. Got a quite different amount of awards. So luckily, had a good enough year to be at Western Michigan. But yeah, I don't have the true like 3, 4, 5 star experience where a bunch of schools or were coming at me knocking on the door. I took some unofficial visits and stuff like that, but actually Western Michigan offered me like a week before signing day, so they really came in and swept me under the table at the last moment. So my high school experience has really been about the all season grind, like just putting in work in those unseen hours. And football, we train 365 days a year for X amount of opportunities. And for me in high school, it was like, I trained all this time, and then when the season came around, it was never for me until senior year. So, college is really like the first experience I've had of really just playing ball and just being myself. So yeah, definitely a different experience than most athletes. So
No, that's awesome. Kind of like kind of hear you throughout the journey to be where you're at right now. That's a monument not only to yourself, but that's kind of where God placed you. It's just beautiful, man. Kind of tell me, how was your mental health through the foot injury, through COVID,
ooh,
bounced around to four different school? Kind of take me through there, bro. Pause, but
yeah,
like go through the journey. So
no doubt. I'd definitely be lying to you if I said I was mentally stable. You know, I'm a very big man in my faith, and back in that time, I claimed as a Christian, or I claimed that I was saved, but it was really the mindset of like, God, like, why me? Like, why am I going through this? Why is this all happening to me? Like, I don't really feel like I deserve any of this. Um, and yeah, really, that was just the mindset the first 3 years of high school, to be honest. I was really just not necessarily doing anything bad, but just very living a very lukewarm Christian life because my mental health was off, and saying that I claimed Christ, but in reality was just living in the way that I wanted to live. And it's crazy how the Lord works, because my senior year was actually the year that I got baptized and gave my life to Christ, and months later I go to Western Michigan. So I mean, all glory to Jesus Christ, man. It's crazy once you give your life to him, what he can do and what doors he opens up. Because the moment I gave my life to Christ, the opportunity to go to Western Michigan came. So I wouldn't say that's by coincidence.
man, it's definitely not by coincidence. Like, how was that journey through your recruitment? Like with how your faith through Western Michigan, like kind of tell me, what was there a little self doubt in that journey? Kind of take.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I wasn't like the 3, 4, 5 star kid, and to be honest with you, like I said, it was all work throughout the off season, and then nothing to show for it. Like I was going to camps, like just dominating guys, whether I went as a receiver or I went as a running back. Like I believe it was like University of Kentucky. They picked me as one of the top RBs of the camp. I stood out pretty much no matter where I went to camp, but it's kind of the same result every single time. It was like, man, like you look good out there in the drill work, like you did good in one on ones, but it's like you don't have any film to show for us what you can do when the pads come on. And that was frustrating for me because it was just like, man, like if I can get healthy, or once I finally get my opportunity, I know what I can do. So yeah, like I said, recruitment wasn't very fun for me because like I said, I went on some unofficial visits. Like I went to Louisville on an unofficial my junior year. I went to like a couple of game days, like Miami of Ohio, MAC schools. So a lot of schools close in the area. Yeah, and I would just say like it was crazy. I definitely got down on myself because I'm like, man, like I don't have any film to back this up. Like, everybody, a lot of people doubted me. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest. So, when I told people in the area or just friends or relatives, whoever, like my dreams and aspirations, they looked at me kind of crazy. So, you know, um, I really love like the Jalen Milroe quote. He was like, "When the world gave up on me, I didn't give up on myself," and I was really am a living testament to that. I feel like a lot of people counted me out, and just to not to, I'm not a person that likes to talk about myself, but just to see the things that I've been able to accomplish and been able to do when nobody thought I would ever be amount to any of this is just truly a blessing, and I'm just truly grateful for it. So
Absolutely, especially that was a testament. Like when you're back against the wall and it's like, who all you got? It's like you got you and God, and you trusted in God's plans. And even when it kind of looks dark in the moments where it's like, man, like what about me? Like I see everybody cooking, I see everybody winning around me, and you got to be the person sitting in the back, which it's hard to sit in the back, but eventually God's going to show you the light and He's going to show you the way. And bro, I couldn't be more proud of you for you to be able to tell your story. Now through Western Michigan, when you first got to be a freshman, was it a moment where it was like, I'm gonna show you why, why you gave me that O?
yeah, so to be honest, I had obviously very high expectations, just like everybody sets the bar high, but for me, it was really so more of one. Like I said, I had one true year where I played ball. So really, my first year at WMU was really like a developmental year. Like I came in like I wasn't necessarily inferior minded, but I was like I knew I probably wasn't going to step on the field right away. But it was more of getting used to the physicality and the pace of FCS, or not FCS, FBS football, and just getting used to how much bigger, stronger, faster guys may be than me. And I think the biggest testament to my college career so far is I have played slot and running back at the college level. So really, I'm getting used to the versatility of just seeing the movement at different areas of the field. So yeah, my first year was really, I felt like, just a developmental year, just getting used to everything, the speed, the pace, of this level of football. And I feel like now I'm finally starting to put it together. Had a pretty good spring ball, so I feel like up until this point, it's really been develop, learn, grow, be patient, stay faithful, stay consistent. And I feel like this year, and the next years to come, I feel like it's money time. Like, it's time to make a statement. So,
Absolutely. Kind of tell me about, obviously I know, but the people when they're watching this, kind of tell me what you do, how your involvement within the community.
oh yeah, man. Like I said, Western Michigan was one of the only big schools to take a chance on me. So, I try and show as much love and appreciation to that as I possibly can by giving back to the community. I'm on the student athlete council, so I really just try and, through my platform and my purpose, just give back to not only the university but the community of Kalamazoo. Through the student athletic council, I'll help with the after school mentorship programs, kids from, the city schools coming to Western Michigan after schools, and, just playing games with them, just talking to them about life, talking to them about ball, really just showing them what it's like to be a Division I student athlete. Also, being on the leadership board of Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I also had the chance to go out to Philadelphia a couple months ago to learn about uplifting athletes. So really, just doing anything I can to use me being a Division I athlete, not only for a beneficial gain for myself, but, I feel like the Lord has given me this platform as a purpose to inspire the youth and inspire other people. So, I feel like I'd be selling myself short. With Western Michigan not taking a chance on me, and they did. So I feel like I owe them everything and then some, just to give back to the community. So
For sure. I want to kind of backtrack, and I hear you talk about your faith a lot, which is amazing. When was that moment where he was like, I'm going to follow God and give my life to Christ?
yeah. So like I said, I got baptized right before my 18th birthday, my senior year of high school. And like I said, a couple months later, Western Michigan, came knocking, and that fell through. I really say it's been, just like everything else, it's been trials and tribulations. I mean, being completely upfront, I did live a little bit of a lukewarm, life, coming into college. I mean, it's not easy moving 6 hours away from home in an area you never known before, with people that you don't know, and not having, mom, dad, brother, aunt, uncle around to support you and help you on a day-to-day basis. So, I truly had to get my feet wet and find myself, for a little bit. And being completely honest with you, these past couple months is really, 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 really where I found Christ and was like, just came completely lenient and dependent on him. Really just because of, like, you know, having to develop so much and get used to, the college level, and really just waiting my turn, and also, just being very injury prone, having some naggy injuries in college still. Really all of that has just taken such of a mental toll on me. But like I said, my mindset before was like, why God, why is this happening to me? And it's really changed from that into like more of just like a thank you, like, thank you for taking me through this so I can learn, and not really having that I have to but I get to mentality. Because you know how it is, like, there's some days like, man, like, I really don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like practicing. I don't feel like going through the 12-hour days, sometimes more, especially like fall camp and stuff like that. Like, I don't feel like doing this, but I would say that over the last half a year, I really learned, like, I get to, and not a I have to. So if anybody that's watching, no matter if it's FBS, FCS, all the way down to JUCO, like, it's a blessing. Like, don't look at it as a I have to. Look at it as a I get to, and just take every day one day at a time, and just look at it as a blessing in disguise, whether you like where you're at or not. So
I don't think you could said it better. That I get to, I have to. That's a motto, which is crazy. I live by, which I remind everybody around me in my life, because
mhm,
you have a choice every single day when you wake up. You can lay in bed all day and mope around until you die, but
mhm.
are you willing to attack the day because you get to? Because there's people that would literally that are dead that will die again to have the opportunity that you have today, which is awesome. What is your biggest why, man? I keep hearing. I heard you ask. You said I asked God why, but what is your why?
Man, I've been reflecting on that recently, honestly, and that's a crazy question that you asked. And one, obviously, it'll always be for the audience of one, playing for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But I've actually come to find out my why is not to prove others wrong, but to prove myself right.
Mm,
That's my why right now. I've been really going through that reflection internally. And, a lot of people, as much as I do want to prove people wrong, like I want to prove myself right, I put, so much blood, sweat, and tears and years upon years into the grind, into the training, into the, on the field, off the field performance. And it's like, man, like you came all this way not to just get all this way. And you're gonna have people that doubt. You're gonna have people that don't necessarily agree. Um, and I was actually in church the other day, and they talked about doing less of others. Like not everybody deserves to run the race with you alongside you. And that really hit me. And that was really the moment I really decided, like, man, I think my why is not to prove other people wrong, but to prove myself right. And every single day, I'm like, I challenge myself. I'm my own biggest enemy, my own biggest competitor. So I really just wake up and push myself to be better by 1% each day. And I'd say that's what my why is.
No, that is. I don't think you could have said it any better. But it's also, again, it's you're trying to not prove to the world, but proving to myself it's a bigger message than what people think it is. Because everything that you've been through and everything that has God has taught you and paved the way for you to be where you're at right now, it's like I gotta make sure that God's blessing doesn't go unanswered. I gotta make sure God knows that I'm not taking this for granted, which is you hit that right on the money. If you didn't have football in your life, who would you be or what would you do?
Man, that's a great question. It's hard to say honestly because especially what I'm studying in school, like literally my whole life has been ball. Like whether it was football, basketball, like my whole life has just been sports. So I would say if I wasn't physically able to play the game, I would say I would still be involved in the game somehow, some way. I'm studying right now. I want to become like a sports analyst slash journalist. Like I want to be on TV, like a Stephen A. or like a Pat McAfee, or even if it's like a sideline reporter, things like that. I'm also studying sports management, so like I could become an agent if I wanted to, or represent NIL, any of the avenues. I love sports so much. I mean, I eat, live, sleep, breathe sports, and so I think I would just be in the sports field regardless if I was an athlete or not. I just love ball, love talking ball, love watching ball. That's my bread and butter. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And with that, what is how do you be able to protect your mental as athletes? Like how you talk about them fall camps, boy, they long, and the 12-hour days, sometimes longer. You even mentioned like how do you protect your mental health? How do you stay course and stay one?
Man, that's such a that's such a controversial topic in the sports world today because mental health is real and mental health is already is discombobulated and spread out as it is right now. And I think for me, I mean, obviously I rely on the Lord, but I think for me, it's just I would really say one, it's routine. Two, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And three, I would just say, just like you talked about earlier, remembering your why. The first point, you know, I really just say routine goes a long way in discipline because, like, you know, mental health, I feel like from especially for me, it really starts to kick in those times where you said like you're just sitting around in your bed or like, what I'm saying, like you just have a lot of free time on your hands or you're just sitting there just letting the time go by. I try and keep myself, as active and in my mind at least on something as long as I possibly can because I feel like for me, mental health starts to creep in like in those moments where I'm sitting in those dark hours or like those quiet hours. So I really feel like finding a consistent routine, whether it's you playing a sport, whether it's you finding a hobby, working out, drawing, music, etc. Like just find a consistent routine in whatever you're doing. And two, just that that family and that friend piece, that consistency piece there. Like I said, I'm fortunate to live with my cousin and play with my cousin. Let's see, my two of my best friends, my closest friends, they both play at a smaller school called Madonna up in like the Metro Detroit area. So they're not far from me. My stepbrother's the starting quarterback at Trine University, a school in like around Fort Wayne area, I'm pretty sure. So they're both less than a couple hour drive from me, and just being able to be around all them. I know not every college athlete gets that experience, but luckily I do have that. So whether it's weekends or we get a couple of days off, just surrounding myself with like-minded people, surrounding myself with teammates that have the same mindset when it comes to athletics and the Lord as me, surrounding myself with my church community. That's really just how I get after it. So.
That's awesome. For the people that don't know who you are, kind of describe who you are as a person.
Yeah, man. I'm a very funny guy. Like as much as we're having a serious conversation, like I love to goof off. I love to joke around. I'm a big trolling kind of guy. I mean, when times need to be serious and professional, I always keep it serious, professional. But I think I'm a very, I think one of my biggest personality traits is that I can get along with anybody. I can be kicking it with athletes. I can be kicking it with non-athletes. You know what I'm saying? I really just get along with everybody. I love, everybody. Everybody can come talk to me if anybody needs anything. You know what I'm saying? I'll do anything. And I really just think that I'd say that's probably the biggest thing about me is that no matter what crowd of people you put me in. Not that I want to stand out, but I could fit in with any crowd. Like I can get along with anybody, and it's a big melting pot my way. So anybody, athlete, non-athlete, whatever. Like you can come kick it with me anytime. So
It's always good to be accepting to the world because sometimes the world doesn't accept you, which is awesome, bro. What would you tell your younger self that everything you've been through from as a child through high school to where you're at right now? What would you tell your younger self?
I tell myself two things: one, don't take it for granted, and two, it's almost there, but you're not there yet.
Mm,
Um, don't take it for granted. Like I said, a lot of the times we do have that mentality, like I don't want to today, or what I'm saying, like I'm tired, I'm sore. And we talk about this in the locker room all the time. Shout out to the guys. Like your younger self dreamed to be where you are right now. Like you would be letting him down. You'd be cutting himself short, if you were to give up. And they talk about like this game is not for everybody. Our coaches talk about like, yeah, man, like everybody wants to run out of the tunnel on game day. Everybody wants the publicity and the deals and all the stuff, but like when it's time to grind year round, it's not for everybody. So I would say don't take it for granted, and don't sell yourself short. Don't stop now. I mean, luckily I've been blessed to make it to the Division 1 level. Obviously, the goal is to, make it professionally. Obviously, the NFL, but whatever professional shot I'm given, to play professional ball, and that's one level away. You got a couple more years left in college. Whether the Lord allows you to go play professional ball or even be around professional sports, I'm leaving that up to Him. So I would just say, don't stop now. You're almost there. So don't give up.
Throughout, were you trying to make it, which is something that I was about to ask you, which is pretty kind of ironic. What are some of the how are you going to be able to face those roadblocks and challenges that may come your way, and how you think you may deal with them?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. You're asking some good questions. I'd say one, um, for me, my dad has instilled in me always like just to outwork. I mean, I'm not the most physically gifted guy. I'm 5'9", 185, 190 pounds. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the most God gifted athletic person on the planet. So, really, my mental roadblock is just outworking people. Whether that's getting an extra workout in a day or extra time in the film room. Um, I actually a lot of people don't know this, but like I like to do like Pilates and stuff and yoga and all that stuff. Any of those things, whatever it is, just getting myself ahead of the curve. Um, that's really the only way I'm going to stand out because when it comes to the metrics and measurables, like I'm not your guy. So when it comes to the nitty gritty and getting stuff done, that's what I feel like is my edge and what separates me from people and what keeps me going. So
Throughout that and having the edge and setting the tone, and while we're kind of transitioning, what is one impact you want to be able to make on the world?
yeah, like I said, I feel like the Lord has given me a platform and a purpose to inspire people. So two things. I'll just say the first one is like when people look at J.R. Hayes, who do they look at him as? Like, I don't want to be looked at as a D1 athlete. I don't want to be looked at as Western Michigan football player. I don't even want to be looked at as J.R. Hayes. Like, I just want to be looked at as a active reflection of Jesus Christ. So, whether that's through the game of football, whether that's through the extracurricular stuff, whether that's me just walking down the street and helping somebody out, I just want to impact the world by just, using my platform and my purpose to inspire and to just help other people, whether that's through football or not. I just want people to say, look at me and look back at my life and say, hey, man, like he changed the world for the better, or at least he tried to. So,
That's awesome. What does perseverance mean to you?
I mean, man, perseverance means everything to me. Like I said, you name it, I've been through it. Injuries, mental health, You know, I've been through the whole nine. So I feel like in my life, I'm one of the mentally toughest people that I know. I mean, I've been through it all. So perseverance is everything to me because I've overcome so many obstacles in life, and once you overcome some of those things, everything else just comes natural to you. You've been through it time and time again. So me persevering through all these things, especially with the Lord on my side, like I feel like I can, walk through the fire and not get burnt. So
Mm,
perseverance has been my whole life, man. So I take pride in that.
that's awesome. Now there's a big stigma going on in the world. And I want to ask you this question, and you can go whatever depth or whatever way you want. With the stigma on athletes' mental health, what do you think we can do as athletes to one support one another, but it's also how you think athletes should be able to handle their mental health?
Man, that's you hit that on the head. That's actually a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with right now, being in the student athlete council. That's a lot of the stuff that we take very seriously, especially with student athlete mental health, because like I feel like the biggest thing, not saying that us athletes are, trying to flex, but you people that don't live in our shoes, they take a outside look on our lives, and they're like, oh man, he's playing a Division 1 sport, he's going to college for free, little to no cost. He has some endorsement deals on his hand, or he has X, Y, and Z going on. And they look at that and they're like, oh man, like that guy lives one of the best lives you could ever live, and that is true. But also at the same time, this life is also so hard to obtain. I don't feel like the average person realizes that. So I really feel like student athlete mental health, it should be talked about way more, and that's something that through my platform that I'm trying to crack down on every single day and get to the bottom of, because we go through some of the hardest things that a human being could ever go through, and just a lot of the networking and stuff that I've done, like the first thing that those people say is we want to hire or we want to intern student athletes because they're personable, they're disciplined, and they know how to work with other people in a team. So not only is it mental health in a bad way, but also a good way. Like we are trained and wired differently. And to all the student athletes out there, like I would just say, like, don't look at that your mental health as a bad thing. You can also look at it as a positive too. Like it is hard, but at the end of the day, like you are naturally and physically being wired different to be different than the rest of the world. So
That's awesome. At times you felt like God wasn't listening. What do you think God's message was for you?
man, I'd say in the start I didn't even hear a message like I said, because I was just living my own life, wanting to do what I wanted to do. But as of recently, like it's really been hitting on like just stay patient, stay true to the process. We talk about like if you're good to the process, it'll be good to you. So I've really been honing in on that. And I feel like a lot of days in college football, college sports, like you don't see people, wanting to grind it out and thug it out. Like a lot of people, won't even be at a program 3 years, um, and want to wait their turn. And that's been me. So I really, have just been feeling lately like stay true to the process. If you wait your turn, like it'll come to you. Because I'd be lying if I didn't have say that I disagree with those thoughts. Because our flesh and our emotions get to us, and they're like, ah, man, like like man, like this ain't working out the way, or this ain't going the way that I imagined it to be. So really, just taking that daily approach is what I got going on. So
Absolutely. And I feel like also we serve a bigger purpose than ourselves. I feel like at times we often think that our purpose has to be our purpose and not what God purposes for us. So sometimes we take ourselves out of the agenda and out of the picture, and we be like,
man,
"Yeah,
that
go ahead. No, I want to hear this. Go ahead."
nah, that's so real though, because like I mean, obviously, bro, like my dreams and aspirations growing up, like I wanted to be the 4 or 5 star kid. I mean, like my dreams were as big as like I wanted to play Alabama, like my uncle going there, and like just being an Alabama fan growing up. Like I wanted to play in the SEC, and I had all these these aspirations and doing things that I wanted to do. And it's just crazy because like I'll tell you a funny story, quick version of it. Like I didn't even really want to go to Western Michigan. Kind of long story short, they had invited me to the camp, and my dad asked me if I'd go, and I said no, because like I said, I wanted to be this big time guy. Like I wanted to go to all the big schools, and he was like, "Do you want to go to Western Michigan for a camp?" And I literally looked at him, and I was like, "What is that? Like, what's Western Michigan? Like, I didn't even know that was a school. Like, you know what I'm saying?" But it's just crazy how the Lord works in mysterious ways, because I didn't even want to go to the camp, didn't even think about going there, and it's crazy that the plan that He has for you is better than the plan that you could ever have for yourself. Because you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying. If I would have relied on my plan, man, I would have been long gone. And school that I didn't even want to go to, or that I didn't even think I'd be at. This is where I'm making my money at. So like, it's just crazy how you talked about that. Because if I would have relied on my own plan, I would not be here right now. So
No, I don't think half of us athletes will be anywhere, and some athletes are
man,
blessed and fortunate to get that.
yeah,
And it's like also is their journey's not ours. And I always live by the quote: "Comparison is a thief to joy." Because if
mm,
you compare yourself to the next man, and then you look to the man to the right, and it's like, well, you at SEC, you at a better conference, and I'm here, and it's like your place in your blessed and fortunate to be in the place you are now. So while you looking to the right and to looking to the left, it's like, okay, what about where you at? What about where your feet's at?
man, no, that's so true. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That was one of my things. Like even to this day, is I get very jealous. You know, because I look at that and I'm like, oh man, like I want to be the guy that's making a couple mil or a couple 100,000. You know, driving exotic cars and living this crazy lifestyle. But as much as I want that, like people look at me and they look at my life and they're like, man, I want to live how he like I want the life that he has.
Mm,
So as much as you look to the person to the left and right of you, there's other people out there that are looking at you the same way. And just talking about like how the Lord's plan is way beyond ours. Like I don't think, even with all the stuff and adversity, like I don't think I would have wanted it any other way because it's maybe very humble, it's maybe very, very personable, and it's maybe very grateful. So I wouldn't change my life for anybody else's.
absolutely, man. And it's a blessing that we get to do one what we love, but two get the opportunity to keep doing it again and again, and we get to do it tomorrow and then the next day, and we continue to have that blessing. I think you know you have to also sometimes reflect when you have those mindsets. I wish I was there. I was there, but it was like again what you said earlier. As a kid, your younger self would die to be in the position you're right now. But that's the
Mm,
greed. That's the idolizing that it talks about in the Bible, where we get so complacent. That's also being a human being. That's in our nature is being complacency. Complacency also can kill the love. Love within it could be a intimate relationship, it could be a friendship, or it could be the love of the game. So you sometimes have to have a step back and be like, I'm just blessed. Because there's somebody right behind you, the next man, they'd be like, dang, I wish I was where he was at while you're complaining at practice. Man, I wish I was playing at a big time school, playing on
absolutely.
ESPN every morning. No, you blessed where you at right now.
Yeah. And I'd say the biggest thing too is like I was very big on idolizing my sport and my sense of self because it's not necessarily that I wanted to, but I feel like us athletes are wired that like our sport and what we do is our identity. And going back on the mental health part, I feel like a lot of student athletes struggle because outside of their sport, like student athletes don't really know who they are outside of their sport because like that's all they know. And when that becomes who you are, I feel like that's when the idolization and the pride kicks in because that's all you know. So really, just that humble piece is working on like this, like football player, student athlete J.R. Hayes is not who I am as a person. Like I'm a son of Christ. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a friend. I'm a companion. Like when you look at life in way different avenues of just being like, yeah, I'm a student. I'm a Division 1 athlete. I feel like that's when you start to realize that the idolization and the pride gets taken out because like you're not necessarily worried about your status or you're not worried about any of the other materialistic things. And that's something that in my journey of a college athlete that I've had to work on because like yeah, it feels good when you come back to your hometown and people are coming up to you, talking to you, and when they're like, oh man, like can I get some gear? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it feels good. Like you like I mean you feel like the man, like you feel like a celebrity. But yeah, I really have been working on like trying to, humble yourself. Like you gotta humble yourself a little bit, young fella, because this isn't all that you are. So
Absolutely. Or God would strip away so he would
no,
strip everything.
bro, man, that's what I had to learn because for all I know, I could be done playing football tomorrow. So to
Mhm.
to walk around and floss and stunt and all that stuff, like I'm crazy. I'm crazy for even being bold enough to do that because he could end my playing career tomorrow, and I would, what I'm saying. So
Correct. As we're getting ready, getting down and trickling down, kind of send a message to your family. I do this to every guest to make sure you send a message back home to for them to know about your appreciation, your love, and also the sacrifices they made for you to be where you're at right now.
man, you gonna make me emotional, bro. But I would say, mom and dad. Um, Thank you guys for just all of the sacrifices and the countless hours of work and times that you didn't feel like putting us in front of yourselves, and the times that you wanted to do stuff for yourself, but you went out of your own way to provide for us. And growing up, just all the sports that I played, whether it was going to AAU tournaments, going to football camps. From the bottom of my heart, I just love you guys and I thank you, and I'm just truly, truly, truly grateful for what you guys have done for me and all the stuff that you sacrificed for your own life, for mine. I think that's the true definition of love, and I couldn't be any more thankful. I couldn't be any more proud of you guys, and just thank you for giving me the life that I get to live. I'd say to my little brother, he's really one of my biggest motivations. He looks up to me, and I really just want to be the best big brother that I can for him. And ultimately, I wouldn't be a good big brother if I didn't want him to be better than me one day. So just setting the example and leading uh, by faith and not by sight. Like I really just want to be that example for him, and I really just want him to see what I've done and to become even better than that. And I love him to death. And like I said, I hope he goes to one of those big schools because he's a basketball player. So I hope he makes it even bigger than I do. And then lastly, to my aunt and to my uncle, I would just say, man, thank you guys for allowing me to be in your guys' home and live with you guys for the last 2 years of high school. I feel like that really changed the trajectory of my career. And I look at you guys as a second set of parents, excuse me. And without you guys, I feel like my career wouldn't be where it is today. So, you five, I really just thank you and I appreciate you guys and I love you and just thank you for everything that you guys do for me to this day.
That's beautiful, man. I appreciate you, and that's always important uh, for your loved ones to always know that they're being recognized. Um, so that's why I do that, man. And I couldn't be more blessed, and I feel like God made us cross paths for a
Yeah,
reason, because God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes we kind of
amen.
be like, "Wow, how did you do that?" But it's God; He can do whatever He wants. But I mean, it's a blessing to have you on. Thank you for also letting me give me the opportunity for me to be able to share your story, because your story is definitely going to not only it impacted me for sure, but it's going to
Yeah.
impact somebody else that's younger and that's probably going through those trials and tribulations that are maybe a little lost. And again, like I said before we even the interview, I'm like, you're serving a purpose that's bigger than yourself. So, man, I had to give your flowers on that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on the podcast, man. If there's anything that I can do for you and for your podcast and for your foundation, man, just let me know. We'll keep in touch, and I would love to continue to keep collaborating and working with you. You don't live too many hours, 2 hours away, so you know what I'm saying. Maybe we get together sometime, but whatever the Lord allows us to cross into, bro, I'm down for it. So you just keep me posted and just let me know we can get on. So
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. And also a big shout out to Eli, our sponsors. I just want to say thank you for the work that you allow us to continue to do our work. Without sponsorships, it would be kind of a float, and I don't think it would be where we're at right now. And for you guys to give an opportunity for somebody that's small, but we're growing and we're continuing to growing every single day. That's because of you guys, and I couldn't be more happy to have you guys. But hey guys, this is Jordan Thomas. This is Unmasked Athletes, and we out. Thank you.
amen.